And it looks like it is time to go ahead and get started. Hey, welcome to At the Track Live. My name is Coach James. I am the creator and lead instructor for All About Aerodynamics. What is All About Aerodynamics? Glad you asked. Even if you didn't ask, All About Aerodynamics is a science program where I use Hot Wheels cars to teach kindergarten through 6th grade students about physics, about aerodynamics, about drag, about lift, about kinetic energy, about potential energy, about elastic energy, about Isaac Newton and his 3 laws of motion, about the scientific method, about a whole range of science and physics related topics. After I've taught the students all the science and we've conducted experiments to drive home those concepts, then I bring in about 400 different Hot Wheels cars, and each student gets the chance to pick a car that they think would be fastest in a series of races based on everything they've learned in the classes. Once they've picked their cars, they take pictures of their cars, they weigh their cars, they test the speed of their cars, they document everything they can about their cars, and then they set up a 1/64th scale quarter-mile drag strip, and we have a tournament, and they race the cars, and they observe how their car performed. Did their car perform up to or below their expectations? And if they had the opportunity, would they pick that car again? Or would they make a different selection? So, after they've done all that, we've learned science, we've had fun with Hot Wheels cars, and I don't know what could be better. So, if you would like to learn more information about All About Aerodynamics and the science program and how to bring it to your school or your organization or your special event, then all you have to do is you can go to our website, aaAerodynamics.com, or you can follow us on Instagram, aaAerodynamics, and you can find the link in the bio. You can send me a message if you have more questions, and all of the information you need is right there. And as I've mentioned before, I'm still in the process of revamping and reworking the online version of All About Aerodynamics, and I had a version of it and then realized that I started during COVID, and so now I'm making some tweaks and changes, and it'll be a lot of fun. So for students who are outside of the Southern California area, they'll have the opportunity to participate, and that is coming soon, so you can keep up with all the developments on at our Instagram account or our website. But this is not all about aerodynamics. This is All About Aerodynamics presents At the Track Live. So what is that? All About Aerodynamics At the Track Live is where I get the chance to introduce new cars into the fleet, the new cars that those students are going to have the opportunity to select and pick. Before I can bring cars into a school for students to use, I have to know which cars I'm bringing in so I can make sure I'm bringing those back and putting them back in the right place so it makes them easy to find. So the process of cataloging those cars was boring. I would just grab a bunch of cars, sit there, put something on TV, crack them open, take the pictures, take the video, enter the information into the spreadsheet, and it was just a boring experience. So I tried to figure out how to turn something I had to do into something that was fun to do, and came up with the idea for At the Track Live. So each week I go to my storage bin, bring out about 6 different Hot Wheels cars, crack those open, take a picture, take a video, do a little review, and then at the end take those 6 cars, take them out to the track, since the track is out there set up and waiting to be used. Take the cars out to the track, have a little mini tournament, bring out the car that is number 1. That car that wins the tournament gets to challenge our fastest in fleet car, and our fastest in fleet car is and has been for the last, I've lost count, it's probably 12 weeks now. The Blitz Speeder. This is it. This is the fastest Hot Wheels car, I'm going to go ahead and say it, on the planet, because we've been throwing challenges at it left and right, and it has not even blinked. It lost one race. So our races are best 2 out of 3, and the Blitz Speeder has lost one race against the slide kick, and that's a race you can actually see on our Instagram account. I just uploaded a little reel that shows that race. And so the Blitz Speeder lost the first race, came back and won the next 2. Then it went on a streak of about 10 weeks where it didn't lose at all. And then maybe it wasn't last week. The week before that, 2 weeks ago, it did lose the first race again, but then it came back and won the next 2. So other than that, the Blitz Speeder has just been extremely dominant. But that is our fastest in fleet car. So the winner of today's tournament will get a chance to challenge the Blitz Speeder. But before we get there, you have the opportunity to participate, and all you have to do is you can go to AtTheTrack.live, and you'll have 3 options. One is the YouTube link, one is the Twitch stream link. You don't need those because you're already here. And the third option is choose a car. If you go there and you click that option, you will be taken to this page that has all of the cars in the All About Aerodynamics At The Track Live fleet listed, catalog. This is the result of my work and efforts, and you can see that each car is numbered. There's a picture, and you can go through, and if you find a car that you think would be faster than one of the cars that I've introduced, or possibly faster than the Blitz Speeder, which I can't believe I didn't have my lights on, so I disrespected the Blitz Speeder by not showing it in its full glory with all the lights on. I'll get back to that. But anyway, once you find a car that you think would be faster than one of the cars I picked, or faster than the Blitz Speeder, you can just click on that car, and you can see a close-up view and check the reflection in the mirror and see if it's metal on plastic, or plastic on metal, or metal on metal in some cases. And if that's the car that you want to pick, all you have to do is take the number of that car, in this case 168 for this high beam, drop that in the chat, and then I'll pull the car and we will enter it into the tournament. So there are currently in the fleet, because I just updated it last night with the cars that we had, there are currently 740 cars cataloged and listed for you to choose from. And there are all kinds of cars, fantasy cars, there are cars based on real cars, there are trucks, there are service vehicles, there are cars from the 70s, cars from the 80s, cars from the 90s, 2000s, of course. There are cars like this Tooligan that it has a wrench. Well, there aren't cars like this. There is this one that has a wrench. There's no other one that has a wrench on the back. There are Formula One type cars, this F1 racer. There are Lamborghinis, there are Batmobiles, there are gargoyle vampire bat cars. Well, this one. But if that's the car that you think would be fastest, all you have to do is take that number, drop it in the chat, and I will pull it. Now, hey, Roughshod is gonna pick, let's see, what car. Okay, Roughshod's wife. Glad you can stop by. She's sending in his pick. His pick is 423, the Epic Fast. So let me scroll down. 423. Appreciate you putting in his pick. And let's see, 423. Okay, so this is Roughshod's pick, this Epic Fast. So one thing that is Roughshod with his picks has every time kind of adjusted and narrowed based on the results, which is ideal. So this car is from 2020, and it was a Halloween edition, But more importantly, it's a fantasy car, and we found that fantasy cars tend to do better on the track than cars based on real cars, at least so far. Because when the students pick, the students usually gravitate towards Lamborghinis and character cars. Because the character cars, they're familiar with the character, they like the character, and they decide, I want the Spider-Man car because they like Spider-Man. Some students, when they pick the Lamborghinis, are really considering all the aerodynamics lessons that we've discussed, but there's such a variety. But on At The Track Live, when we've been racing the cars that have tended to do the best have been fantasy cars. And so this one is going to be the one that represents roughshod. So I will pull that car in a little bit. And if you have a pick, all you have to do is just take the number of the car and drop it into the chat, and I will be sure to pull that, and we will hit the track and see if your car is going to be faster than the cars I've pulled. We even have this one that's like a World War II bomber airplane car thing. It was not very fast. It was kind of cool. It was one of the few cars that I've raced that's had 6 wheels, but it was, if I recall, it was heavy and slow. And that's just how it goes. You never really know until the cars get to the track. I don't modify the cars. I don't make any adjustments. I open the packs, and that's it. That's how the car hits the track. And we will find out today which car is going to be fast enough to take on the Blitz Speeder. And let me go back to the Blitz Speeder now that I've actually turned on the lights. And you can see this is our champion car, and it's a fantasy car. It is a plastic body on a metal base. It has a wide, flat wing coming off the back that is kind of ideal. So another tip is when you're picking your cars, you want a car with a flat back end, because that's going to press right up against the launching block, and that is going to give you a better launch out of the starting blocks. And getting a good launch is key. Also, having a wider car. A wider car is better because narrow cars tend to bounce around the track, and as they bounce around, that friction of scraping against the side of the track just serves to slow the car down in the end. So wider cars tend not to do that. So if you can find a wider car with a flat back end, you're pretty much starting off in a good place and positioned well to do well in the races. So we're going to find out how these cars do, and if any cars can actually give the Blitz Speeder an actual challenge. So that is what's coming up. And I just wanted to mention, so I'm always looking for racing, Hot Wheels racing channels, because I'm trying to find the cars that are fastest on their track, so then I can pull those cars and test them out and see how they are on our track. Now, most of the Hot Wheels racing channels have gravity tracks where essentially they're elevated tracks. The cars start at a high position, and then gravity pulls them down, and they make their way down the track. I came across a racing channel on TikTok. It's called Meal Ticket Raceway, and it's one of the most incredible gravity tracks I've ever seen. So the guy who created the channel, it looks to be like a garage, and he bills it as it's the biggest or the longest six-lane raceway in the world. And I don't have any reason to dispute that, but it's incredible. So he's in a garage, and there's Hot Wheels cars just all over the walls. he puts the cars in, whichever cars are going to race, and it looks like, I didn't get a clear shot on TikTok, but it looks like he puts them in, and then there's like an elevator that takes them to the top level of the track. And once they hit that top level, then they're released, and it's such a huge track that he's able to track the cars with his camera. So the cars come through the gravity track, go all the way to one end of the room, and then he set it up so there's a curve. The cars curve and come down to the next level, and then go all the way back to the other side of the room. Then there's another curve. They hit that curve. They go all the way back to the back corner of the room, hit a curve, come back all the way to where they started, hit another curve, go down. There have to be at least, I'm thinking, maybe 6 different turns. And the cars keep the speed up. And it's a lot of fun to watch. And has given me some ideas. But a lot of my ideas, I have some ideas for my track, but I just need more space. And so I'm doing what I can in the space that I have, but one day, if I had a space that big, there's some other things I would add in, but it's Meal Ticket Raceway, and he's on Instagram and YouTube, but I think TikTok is the main place where he does the racing, and I would say to check it out if you're into Hot Wheels and Hot Wheels racing. Now, one thing is that he does swap out the wheels and add graphite and weights and different things to the car. They're modified, and so that's a different aspect with AtTheTrack.live. We're just taking them right out of the pack because I don't want to put graphite on the wheels or on the axles and different things, especially when children are going to be handling these cars. So they come out of the pack. If they come out of the pack and they're fast, like the Blitz Speeder, then that's just it. If they come out of the pack and they're slow, then they're just slow. But they are going to have an opportunity to race. And so I've got a bunch of cars here to choose from. Why? Because I have the cars in storage, and I would be just fine to just keep going back and getting those cars out of storage, bringing them in. But if you collect Hot Wheels, whatever it is you collect, but especially Hot Wheels, every time I go into the store, I go down, I was going into the store for trash bags and like soap. And I went and got the trash bags, went and got the soap, and then was like, let me see about the Hot Wheels aisle. Went down there and ended up picking up a few different Hot Wheels cars, even though I've got plenty of cars to pull from in storage. So, and some of the cars are cars that I already have that I picked up for one reason or another. So, for example, I picked up another of these, the Minecraft Minecart, which was, I think, this was probably the most surprising car that we've had on the track because it's the least aerodynamic. It's a box. But it was fast. It was very, very fast. And I was shocked that it even stayed on the track. Number 2, I was shocked that it was as fast as it was. But this was a good one. And so I know that some of the kids like Minecraft. So this car is going to end up in the prize bin. So for students who answer questions or participate or have good just do well in the class sometimes or win a game, they'll get a chance to pick a car from the prize pack, and I know that kids like Minecraft. So this will be in there, and this is a sleeper car because it's not one that you would think would be fast, but it is. So I picked this up, but that is going to be a prize car. Another car that I picked up another of these Ford GT40s, and this one, the 67 Ford GT40 Mark IV, I'm almost certain that I already have. I know I have GT40s. I don't think I have as many GT40s as I do Batmobiles or Lamborghinis, but I know I have plenty of them. 66, yeah. So this one, I just like this car a lot, and they get me every time because it's the same car. They're just changing the graphics on it, the paint color, the decal, all of that. And so I pick them up, and this one is not going into the prize bin, or maybe it will. Maybe it will, because how many, what am I going to do with all these? But anyway, so I'm not only picking up the cars that I already have, or that I don't have. I'm picking up cars that I do have, but, Hot Wheels. And I think they get you because they're only $1.25 or whatever they are now. And, I'm always like, yeah, go ahead. So here's another one. The 77 Pontiac Firebird Trans Am. There's one that I entered into the fleet a while back, not too long ago. And it is, because we're on car 740 and it was car number 690. I didn't like the color of it. I think it was like an Easter edition, so it was like yellow and green and had pastel colors. This one is closer to the one that I do like, because of course, if you're a certain age, the Smokey and the Bandit, Trans Am, the Firebird. This isn't it. I actually have one from the 70s, the Hot Wheels, the Hot Bird, but it's so heavy, it's slow on the track. But this is another car that if I see it with the T-top, I'm gonna pick it up, and I like this one better than the one that's in the fleet. So we might have another of those loser leave the fleet matches where the car that loses has to go, and it's just based on the old school wrestling, pro wrestling situation where you'd have two wrestlers and they'd have a feud, and they decide that, this territory is not big enough for the both of us, so they'd have a loser leave town match, so whoever lost had to go. And I think in some of the cases where I have duplicate cars, but I like one better than the other, I'm going to have a loser leave the fleet set up, and then race those cars and see which one gets to stay. Same way, I bought another of these. This is a car that I really like. Probably one of, if not my favorite car of the so far this year, is this Cadillac Project GTP hypercar. And the first one I got, the one that is in the fleet, is black. This one is metallic blue. And I was really hoping this car would be fast. It wasn't. It was heavier than expected, than I was thinking, but it looks really good. And since they came out with one in blue, I picked that up. The black one's still going to stay in the fleet, but this one just looked too good to pass up, so picked that one up as well. Hey, Roughshod, glad you made it. Your wife gave us your pick, got that in, and so I'm gonna pull that car in just a little bit, and we'll take a look at it. And so the cars that I got, I love that Cadillac, and I have a feeling it's one of those cars that they're gonna keep pumping out in different colors, because I think when I looked up online, there's the real, well, not the real version, because it's there's multiple, because they were in some race that I was watching on YouTube. It was actually live, and there's a yellow version. That was the one they were driving. So it might end up being like the Ford, the GT40, where every time they come out with one in a different color, I pick it up. I don't know. So I have the cars that I picked up. I'm looking at 4 cars that I picked up in the store this week. But then I still have a bunch of the $5 airport LAX Terminal 5 cars that I didn't get through. And then the week before that, I had gone to the Hot Wheels swap meet and picked up some cars from there. So I think I'll probably take 2 of the cars that I just picked up, and then go with 2 cars from the swap meet, 1 car from the Terminal 5 bag, and then we've got roughshod's pick. And if anyone else wants to select a car, all you have to do, once again, is go to AtTheTrack.live, select choose a car. You will go to this page. On this page, you can scroll through and you can find all of the cars in the fleet. When you see a car you think would be faster than the cars that I introduced, all you have to do is take the number of the car. If you think it's this Scupa de Fuego, then you can click on it, take a closer look, and then grab that number, drop it in the chat. I'll pull the car, we'll race the cars, and we'll see if you can find the car that is going to challenge our fastest in fleet champion, the Blitz Speeder. So let's get into it and see what our first car is going to be today. So this one, I was kind of surprised that I didn't already have one of these in the fleet. And I might have one, but it's in storage. And since I keep buying cars instead of going into the storage and pulling cars out, I'll probably come across this one later. But for right now, this one was all beat up. At least the packaging was. The hot wired. And I picked it up because it had this little best for track designation. It's got a low profile, and we're gonna see how it does. I still don't know if best for track actually means anything. On the channel that I was talking about, that Meal Ticket Raceway, he was saying, now he modifies all of his cars, but he said that the fantasy cars he usually doesn't have to modify. And so I don't know if that means that the axles are nickel plated so that the wheels spin better, like the Faster Than Ever cars. But again, he's got some pretty fast cars after he modifies them and adds weights and graphite and all that. But he says he doesn't usually have to do that with most of the fantasy cars. So there might be something to that. So maybe best for track means something. We're going to find out. Let me crack this open and take a closer look. All right, here's what we've got. We have, move this out of the way. Let me see what this car weighs. Oh, and another update is, so first off, this car weighs 26.7 grams. Get it up here so we can take a look. And by comparison, the Blitz Speeder is 32.4 grams. So this car is significantly lighter. Let's take a closer look. And I believe that I figured out the problems I was having with the camera overheating. It was, I think, because the video setting was at 4K 60, and I didn't need it to be that high. But let's see. Let me get this. This is car number 741. This is the hot wired, and we've had some. This is sort of a combination dragster F1 car. They've kind of combined different elements from each of those, and we've had both of those race in the past. We've had funny cars, and then we've had dragsters and F1 cars. And this is more in the dragster line. What I do like is that those front wheels are protected in case this car happens to crash. I will not have to worry about the axles getting bent. We've had so many open wheel car tragedies on our track that I'm not going to be bringing many of those cars forward. Although the car that we had last week, which one was it? It was the eye candy? Yeah, the eye candy. That was the one that crashed. The axle got bent, but the axle was bent, but it still rolled. It's one of the few cars that even after the axle was bent was still able to make it down the track in a relatively straight line. So let me just get the still picture here of the hot wired, and zoom in a bit. All right, get this lined up, and this one should do. This one should do well. Yeah, that eye candy, that was definitely a surprise, because usually when that axle gets bent, that's it. The car is not going to stay straight on the track, and it's definitely not going to be fast. But we've got this one here, the hot wired, and then it's also got the, let me check the year, 2021. So another thing on this one is you can see it's got two different wheel types on here, and it's got the more standard wheels at the back, and then at the front it's got these skinny little plastic, I mean they're all plastic, but these skinny little wheels, these kind of discs, and we've never had a car with those wheels do well. Now it's only two instead of all four, but I don't know. I don't know if that's actually going to be helpful, but we'll find out, because this car is about 6 grams lighter than the Blitz Speeder. But is that really going to make the difference or mean something? We will find out. All right, so let's see. So we've got the hot wired with its best for track designation. I still don't know what that means. And then this next up, again, I have to keep double checking the spreadsheet, because I never know if I'm pulling out the same car or not. Nope, don't have one of these here. So the next car up is going to be this one, this Fiat 500e from the Compact Kings series, and there's not really any information on the back. It has no best for track designation, no faster than ever, anything. Just here it is. But let me go ahead and crack this open and take a closer look. And see what this car weighs. 30.7 grams, so it's also lighter than the Blitz Speeder, and we'll find out whether or not that is going to make a difference. We have, let's see, let's take a closer look here at this one. Little Fiat, little compact car right here, and grab that picture, and then let me start up the turntable and grab this video. And that's always it's interesting to see whether or not a smaller car is going to, how it's going to do. And I mentioned that Minecraft minecart. I was shocked at how fast that was. That was pretty light. I didn't expect that to stay on the track. This one, I don't know. I'm not expecting a lot from this one, but again, you never know until the cars hit the track. I didn't think that necessarily that eye candy car was going to be as fast as it was, but this is why we actually have to race the cars. This is car number 742. It is the Fiat, what did I say? Fiat 500E, and we're going to find out. Now the back end, it's a little curved, but just slightly. I think it should get a decent push, but it's a smaller car, so smaller cars and narrow cars really have to get just have to get a great launch. And if they can get a launch where they stay straight, then they have a shot. There's always a shot. And looks like it wants to fly off the track. Absolutely. And that's always the thing with the smaller cars. Although this one's it's not too light, but with the smaller cars, I'm always thinking they're going to fly off the track because, again, the launcher shoots them out with so much force that it's more likely than not that is what's going to happen, that they are just going to fly completely off the track. So we will see if that happens. All right, so now we've got the Fiat. We have the hot wired, and actually let me check the year on the Fiat. This is 2018. The wheels, it's got a good spin on those wheels. That's okay. The Fiat, is the Fiat going to be a sleeper? I don't know, but it's got some nice solid wheel spin. So we'll see if that actually turns out to make a difference for that car. All right, so that's two cars from the ones that I picked up this week. Let's see, 2018 is the year. All right, so now let me go and dig into the I'll go to the swap meet bag. Grab one of these swap meet picks. I'll just reach in here blind and pick out what I've got. All right, so this one, this one I'm not expecting a lot from, but I'm not even sure what made me pick this one up. But this is the 99 Mustang, and I don't remember why I decided to pick this up. Sometimes at the swap meet, there'll be a car that you want, and the seller will give you a deal of, pick 2 cars and I'll give you a better deal. Pick 3 cars and I'll give you an even better deal. So this seems like one of those pick another car and I'll give you an even better deal cars, because there's nothing. I'm looking at this now and there's nothing about it that really catches my eye, but it's here. We're going to crack it open and take a closer look. So the 99 Mustang, from, it looks like early 2000s, late 90s. Oh man, this thing is so old that as I'm opening it up, the plastic is just chipping off. It's not even peeling open. It's just cracking off. So maybe somebody found this in their garage, in their basement somewhere. I don't know. All right, now this car, the year is on here is 1998. So 1998. This car feels heavy, and I'm gonna go ahead and guess 41 grams, maybe. Oh, I'm nice. 41.5 grams is what this Mustang, this 99 Mustang weighs. And we are going to take a look right now. It's not a bad looking car. I just don't know why I picked it up. But either way, it's a part of the fleet now. It is car number 743. It is a big, heavy 1998 99 Mustang. 99 Mustang. And again, it's pretty basic. It's just a basic car, but I think the weight is what's going to get in the way of this car doing anything on the track. Why do I keep forgetting to crank the lights up? It's just it's got the metallic red paint job. Lesser 420 just I don't know. I don't know why I picked this car. I have no idea. Other than, like I said, I think that it may have been one of those situations where I know when I bought that A-Team van, the guy wanted $10 for it, and then he told me if I bought 2 other cars, then he would drop the price down to like $3 per car or something like that. So maybe I was just grabbed this one just because. I don't know. But it's here now. It's in the fleet, and it's going to have the opportunity to take on some of these other cars and see if it can prove me wrong. And maybe I shouldn't have doubted it, but we are going to find out. Let me get it positioned here. Let's get this picture. And we will be ready to introduce this 99 Mustang into the fleet and see if that big heavy car can do some damage on the track. I don't know if we've ever had a car in the 40s in terms of grams make it to the final rounds of the tournament, but there's a first time for everything. All right, so that is one swap meet pick. So far we've got the hot wired, the Fiat 500. We've got this Mustang. We've got rough shots pick that I'll pull after I pull this next swap meet pick. So let me just reach down into the bag. Feels like there's about 5 more swap meet cars in here. All right, next one up is this one, this Volkswagen SP2. Now, I definitely need to check because I am pretty sure there are Volkswagens in, Volkswagen. Volkswagen SP2, yep. Already have one. So car number 670. So that's been a recent pick. Car 670. So that means that this one is going to be a prize car because there's not really much about it that suggests it would be so unique that I just want to keep it like that Cadillac. 670. 670, is that what I said? Yeah, right here. The Volkswagen SP2. So we already have one. Don't need another. So that car is out. So I will go to back to the bag. Swap meet picks. Oh, okay. And a Matchbox is what I picked up. It's a 1994 Mitsubishi 300 GT. I am pretty sure we don't have one of these because there are very few Matchbox cars in here. We had a Bugatti several weeks ago that did well. It was the best performing Matchbox car we've ever had, but the Matchbox cars, even though Mattel makes Matchbox and makes Hot Wheels, the Matchbox cars don't do as well on the track. For what reason, I don't know, but we're going to crack this one open and take a closer look. All right, let's see what this one weighs. This Mitsubishi is coming in at 35 grams, so it's not as heavy as that Mustang, but we'll see. In fact, I think that's going to be that'll be one of the first races, is that Mustang against this Mitsubishi. Go ahead and get that picture. Got that. And now, let's go ahead and get the video. Going the wrong way. There we go. And yeah, the Matchbox cars just haven't had, I don't know what it is. I'm presuming there's some difference. The wheels, the wheels are a little different, only in that on the edges of the Matchbox cars, they have little grooves to kind of mimic actual tires. And so the Matchbox cars seem to be based more on the actual cars, and the dimensions don't seem to be as kind of stretched and modified like the Hot Wheels cars. But whatever it is they're doing, they're not fast, or at least they haven't been fast. Other than that Bugatti was absolutely fast enough, and I think it may have won a race or two. But we'll see if this 1994 Mitsubishi 300 GT can compete, because so far I think it may be able to beat out that the Mustang. I don't think it's going to be faster than the hot wired, the drag F1 hybrid car, and that Fiat may be a sleeper today, and that car might. I wouldn't be surprised. Well, let me see what other cars are in the mix, because I don't want to go out on a limb and make my pick before I've had a chance to see all the cars that are going to be introduced today. 2021. 2021 is the year on this one. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to go and pull. I'm going to pull Roughshods pick, and we took a look at it earlier on the screen. So I'm going to go and pull that, car number 423. I still have not made a little musical graphic intro bumper thing while I'm going to get the cars, but it shouldn't take long, because I think that should be right over there. And let me double check again. That was car 423. All right, let me grab that one. Okay, here we go. And let's see. Yeah, in the spirit of Halloween, we saw that it had this from the 2020 Halloween. This is Roughshods pick. This is let's see, Epic Fast. Let's go and check the weight. The weight is 31.4 grams, so that's a good sign. That's looking good. Let's pull down this Mitsubishi and put this up. Already I can tell. So you've got the Halloween theme and the spirit of the season. And so it's a fantasy car, which is good. Let me slide this behind it so we can actually see some of these lines a little better. So we've got a fantasy car. It is the weight. It's pretty light, and it's interesting. I'm already seeing just aerodynamically with these cars, with the fantasy cars, they have different openings. They have different angles, and so you never know how the air is going to flow up, over, and around the car. The back end is flat. That's great. And I believe this area, okay, it's not open completely right there. There's some plastic. But this area here is open. So, in theory, air should be flowing up, over, and then not sure what it's going to do here, but it's going to flow right on through here, up over the top, down off the back. And that was the thing I was going to mention earlier, is that I said there's a project called Winsable that I backed on Kickstarter, and it is a wind tunnel for die-cast cars and larger, different size, different scale model cars. And I keep seeing their Instagram posts, and apparently, and I get the emails. So they got fully funded for the project, and supposedly they're going to be actually shipping in November. So hopefully next month I'll be able to start showing what we can do. Is we'll have a car like this, and where we're kind of curious about how the air would flow over, under, and around it, and be able to go to the wind tunnel view, put the car in there, have the smoke, and run it, and actually see how the air is going to flow over, under, and around the car. So I'm looking forward to that, and hopefully it works the way that they said. But just looking at this car, I think this is another good pick. And based on the cars we have so far, I'm with Roughshod. I think this is the car. This might be the car to beat. So so far I'm going with this car. So all right, we have Roughshod's pick, the Halloween edition of the Epic Fast. We have the Matchbox Mitsubishi 300 GT. We've got the 99 Ford Mustang, the Fiat 500E, and the Hot Wired. So far we've got 5 cars ready to go, and we need one more. So I'm going to go to the bag from the LAX Terminal 5 picks. When I went out of town a couple of weeks ago, LAX, if you go to Terminal 5 in LAX, there's a FAO Schwartz store. Go in that store. They've got a wall of Hot Wheels. Now they also have a bin full of Hot Wheels. And because most of the people probably aren't Hot Wheels enthusiasts, they're not looking. And they're especially not digging beyond the first cars that are on the front of the pegs. And you can usually find cars there that you haven't seen, at least I haven't seen, in the Targets or Walmarts around me. So it's always a great place to find new cars. Problem is, they're marked up way too high. They're $5 each car. And sometimes I get lucky. I find one there that I never see in the stores. And other times I'm not so lucky, because one of the cars that I picked up for $5, I just saw in the store 2 days ago. and for $1.25. So I overpaid sometimes, but it's kind of, you take that risk because you're not always guaranteed to find certain cars in the stores. Sometimes, like the collectors, the people who are there hardcore, you know, right when the pallets and the come out and crack the boxes open before they even hit the shelves. Sometimes they'll beat you to some of the better cars, and you'll never see them. Like I've never seen a super treasure hunt car on the pegs in a store. I have some of the regular treasure hunt cars that I've come across, but most of the stores around here, I see the people and I run into them, and they're the hardcore people. They may even know somebody in the store who tips them off when the cars have come in. They might set them aside, but I've never seen just the cars just out on the pegs. And usually you can tell when a collector has been there because there's certain ways that the cars are arranged, when you can tell that somebody has gone through, especially if they're like the stand-up cases with the individual compartments. You can tell just by the way the cars are flipped and folded that somebody's already beaten you to it. So that's why when I'm at Terminal 5 LAX, if I see a car that I haven't seen before, I just pick it up and grab it. So let's see. I'm going to reach into this bag, see what I pull out of the Terminal 5 bag. The overpriced. All right, let's see what I have here. Okay. So this one. This is, I like this. I always like these kind of minivan type of cars. This is a VW T3 Custom, and it's basically like the Volkswagen bus, but this one is customized and has some different openings, which you'll see when we get it on the turntable. So let's crack it open, and as I get ready to crack it open, I see this $499 price tag, but I don't know. This one I'll probably see, but I don't know. I hadn't seen it before. So here we go. Let me crack this open. All right. So I really like this one. Ooh, okay. Let me first check the weight. The weight is 36.7 grams. So it's not the heaviest car that we're going to race today, but it's definitely not the lightest. And as it comes around here, all right, let me switch the view so you can take a look at it as well. And this is it. This is car number 745. It is the VW T3 Custom. And so as it comes around, so you see that back half where it kind of moves in. That area is open. And so it goes into, it has a teardrop pattern, like right there in the middle. You see as it comes around to the back, you can see it. So the air is going to flow right around there, but then it's got that canopy over the top. So that's, I don't know how that's going to affect it. I know that the air coming around the sides is going to stick to the body, and it's going to slide right out the back. But then the top part, it's hard to say. But now the downside is the flat front. And that's going to, for all, whatever benefits this truck, this minivan is going to gain from the, let me stop this. Stop this right here. So, turn it. So whatever benefits that it's going to gain by the air would hug the side, and it's going to stick here, and it's going to slide this way. And then this teardrop pattern, the air is going to come right through here, and that is the back part of the teardrop. Let me see if I can find a better. See, it doesn't come off. but you can kind of see right there that there's that opening. There's an opening right there. But for whatever benefits this car is going to get from having that teardrop shape in the rear of the car, this part is what's going to do it in, because that air is going to hit there and just kind of push up against the front as it tries to find a way up and over. And I don't expect this car to be particularly fast, but I just like it, and it's a cool design, and I hadn't seen it before, so I picked it up. And maybe at some point I'll have a van race, because we did have the A-Team van a couple of weeks ago, and this might be the fastest van, but it is not going to beat out these other cars that we have here today. And we are about to hit the track, and let me just check the year on this, 2024 of course, and get that into the spreadsheet. And now it is just about time to go ahead and hit the track and find out which of these cars is going to challenge the Blitz Speeder for fastest in fleet supremacy. So we have the hot wired, this drag F1 car hybrid. We have Roughshods Epic Fast pick. We have the Matchbox Mitsubishi. We have the 99 Mustang. We have the Fiat 500 that I just dropped on the floor. And we have this VW T3 custom car, which I really like that. Don't think it's going to win, but I like it. And those are the cars that are going to hit the track and see if they can become our new fastest in fleet champion. So if there is anyone watching now or later who has not seen an At the Track Live race before, let me show you what you will be seeing when we go to the track. You will be seeing our 3-camera view, and the cars start at the top left screen, or at the top of the screen on the left, and that is our launcher. I will give a countdown, 3, 2, 1, race. I will hit the switch. The cars will come firing out of the launcher. They will come from top to bottom. They will pass out of the bottom of the screen on the left, and they will show up at the top of the screen in the middle. They will go from top to bottom. They will pass out of the bottom of that screen, and then they will show up at the top of the screen on the right. That is our finish line camera. The cars will come from top to bottom. They will cross the finish line, and the winning car will be indicated with a solid red light. A solid red light will indicate the winning car. A flashing red light indicates the losing car. The races are best 2 out of 3. The cars switch lanes after each race, and if a car happens to crash, we throw out the results of that race, set the cars back up again, and start the race all over. If a car crashes twice consecutively, that car is disqualified. And usually if a car crashes twice consecutively, there's some problem with either the car or the launch it's getting or something, and it's not going to be resolved or settled just by running the car again. There's something that's actually preventing the car from getting a good launch, and that's why it crashes. So car crashes twice in a row, it is done, and we move on. But we are about ready to hit the track, so I am going to gather up the cars. I will see you over there, and it will be in about 30 seconds. set up and ready to go. I am just going to double check the audio. 1, 2. Yep, good to go. All right, so here we go. I think we are going to go first up. First matchup is going to be that Mitsubishi against the Mustang, and just see if the Mustang can beat out this Matchbox car, or if we're finally going to have a Matchbox car that, well, not finally, because we did have that Bugatti that did well. But if we're going to have a Matchbox car that can put up and hang with the Hot Wheels cars, if we're going to have more than just that one Bugatti be able to pull that off. So let me get the Mitsubishi. The Matchbox Mitsubishi will be in lane 1, and this heavy 99 Mustang will be in lane 2. Now I am noticing that the Mustang is a more narrow car, but it's heavier, and I think that might actually work in its favor. But we're going to find out. Are we going to have the heavy car being the Mustang, or are we going to have the Matchbox car take it? So we've got the Matchbox that's a tongue twist. The Matchbox Mitsubishi in lane 1, and we've got the Mustang in lane 2. Here we go. Three, 2, 1, race. Okay, Matchbox Mitsubishi. You were able to beat out the Mustang. We are going to switch lanes here and see if the Matchbox can move on. Now, I think one thing that's interesting is the Matchbox cars, I mentioned, they have a little grooves on the edges of the tires to kind of simulate the tread on actual tires. And because of that, they make an interesting kind of sound when they go down the track. I don't know if it comes across on the microphone, but it's kind of a high-pitched, kind of whine, like a zipper, kind of high-pitched whine. All right. The Mustang is now in lane number 1. We've got the Mitsubishi in lane 2. Race number 2. Here we go. Three, 2, 1, race. And the Mitsubishi takes it again. So we have a Matchbox car that is moving on, and that's good for the brand. Now, it was taking on one of our heaviest cars to date, but nevertheless, a win is a win. You can only play who's on the schedule. So the Mitsubishi moves up. The Mustang goes into the waiting area. All right, next up, let's go with Roughshod's Epic Fast against the Hot Wired, the Best for Track Hot Wired. So the Hot Wired car is pretty light. It has the profile that suggests it should do pretty well, but again, you never know until you hit the track. The Epic Fast, this Halloween edition, it's got a flat back end. It's pressing right up against the launching block, which is great. It's wider. It's not the widest car we've seen, but it's definitely a wide car. So that's working in its favor. And with the Hot Wired, it's got the larger wheels at the back, smaller wheels at the front. It's wider at the back, and it's pretty light. So we're going to see. All right, we've got the Hot Wired in lane 1. We've got the Epic Fast in lane 2. And this is race number 1. Here we go. Three, 2, 1, race. Woo. Okay, and the Epic Fast was epically faster than the Hot Wired and took race number 1. And so now we are going to find out if it can have a clean sweep, 2-0, or if we're going to end up with a third and final race. So let's see what happens. Let's get the... All right. Got the Epic Fast switching over to lane number 1, and that is the Halloween edition, appropriate for the season. And now we've got the Hot Wired in lane 2. This is race number 2. Here we go. Epic Fast lane 1, Hot Wired lane 2. Three, two, one, race. And the Epic Fast takes it. So the Epic Fast moves on along with the Mitsubishi. It is going to be in competition to see which car can take the tournament today and go on to challenge the Blitz Speeder. I think based on those results, I think the Epic Fast is pretty much, I'm not going to say guaranteed to be our tournament winner, but the two remaining cars are the Volkswagen and the Fiat. Now, if the Fiat turns out to be a sleeper car that's really fast, then, you know, who knows what's going to happen. But if it's not, then we will find out. I'm just checking to make sure the Volkswagen is short enough that it can use our standard acrylic cover instead of the one that I have to use for trucks and taller cars. Okay, let's get this here. All right, so the Fiat is lined up in lane 1. The Volkswagen T3 minivan custom situation, that's lined up in lane number 2. So here we go. Nice. Okay, here we go. Fiat lane 1, VW custom lane 2. Three, two, one, race. Wow. Okay, so this is why you race the cars, because the VW custom van with the teardrop shape on the interior but the flat front, it beat out the Fiat and beat it by, it wasn't even close, not even kind of close. So, okay. That was a surprising result. And we are going to switch lanes and see if maybe the Fiat got a bad launch, or maybe it's just not as fast as this custom VW minivan racer thing. But we will find out now. So the Fiat is now moved to lane 2. The custom VW T3 is in lane 1. So here we go, race number 2. Three, two, one, race. Oh! The Fiat was losing and pulled it out at the end. Okay, so the VW van, it had it. It was right there, but toward the end, the Fiat, the smaller Fiat, just pulled it out. So the Fiat has forced a race number 3. We're going to switch lanes again and see which of these cars is moving ahead, because in that first race, the van won by so much that it made me think that possibly the Fiat just got a bad launch. But that second race, that was close. But the van tended to run out of steam, which is unusual for, well, I guess it's not unusual because of the aerodynamics involved. And there's probably a lot more drag with this van that served to slow it down. But we are going to find out now, because the van is in lane 2 and the Fiat is in lane 1. This is race number 3. Whichever car wins here will move on. So here we go. Race number 3. Three, two, one, race. Woo. And the van gets back and repeats what it did in race number 1 and just blows out the the Fiat. Yeah, Russia, the $5 airport pick with the win. Yeah. It's nice to get some value when you overpay for a car. So the van makes it. We are going to find out very quickly right now. We're going to find out if the van is faster than the Matchbox, because we're down to Roughshod's Epic Fast, the Matchbox Mitsubishi, and this van. And I think it's pretty clear that the Epic Fast is the fastest of these three, but you never know. You never know. Until the cars go head to head, it's hard to tell. But we're going to find out right now if Matchbox can pull out a victory and another victory and get to a finals, because we haven't really seen that since that Bugatti, which wasn't all that long ago. But again, Matchbox haven't really had the best runs on the track. So we've got the VW custom van in lane 1. We've got the Mitsubishi 300 GT in lane 2. Race 1. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. Woo. And the Mitsubishi Matchbox takes it, and took it with some ease. We got the van flipped over at the finish line, but nevertheless, it lost. So we are going to switch it up. The van has done much better out of lane 2. So we'll see if that can make a difference at all, because that margin of victory for the Mitsubishi was pretty significant and substantial and didn't seem to be a fluke. But we're going to line these cars up again. The van is in lane 2. The Mitsubishi's in lane 1. Race 2. Here we go. Three, two, one, race. Woo. Matchbox Mitsubishi. Look at that, with the force coming 2/3 of the way back, all the way to near the start line. So our finals matchup is going to be, Roughshod's Epic Fast against this Matchbox Mitsubishi. Now, can the Matchbox Mitsubishi stand up against a car that actually appears to be pretty fast, or at least fast? We're going to find out. Let's see. Here we go. We are going to put the Epic Fast Halloween Edition is going to be in lane number 1. And we are going to put the Mitsubishi in lane number 2. If I can get it lined up and get it to stay. All right, it's staying put. Mitsubishi, lane 2. Epic Fast, lane 1. This is the finals. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, race. Ooh. Okay, that was a lot closer than I expected, and the Epic Fast pulled it out. I had to check the lights on the finish line because I couldn't tell from my perspective at the start line. I couldn't tell how that race turned out, but the Epic Fast pulled it out, and I think we may possibly have found a Matchbox car that's actually fast. Well, another Matchbox car that's fast. So if these Matchbox cars can keep actually competing with the Hot Wheels cars, then I might have to give some consideration to those when I'm in the store. Because usually Matchbox cars for me are just kind of an afterthought after I've looked through all the Hot Wheels. Then I just take a look at the Matchbox. Sometimes I'll see some that catch my eye and pick them up. But again, like I said, typically, historically, they don't do well on the track. But here we go. We've got the Matchbox Mitsubishi in lane 1. We've got the Epic Fast in lane 2. This is the finals. If the Epic Fast takes it, it's moving on to take on the champ. So here we go. Race number 2. Three, 2, 1, race. Whoa. So the Epic Fast finished and bounced all the way back. Meanwhile, the Matchbox Mitsubishi slammed into the barricade and flew off the track. And we will reset the cars and redo that race. Since it's not an open wheel car, I don't have to worry about any damage to the axle or anything. It's just it's possible it can get some paint chipped. We did have a K-van, a K-truck a while back. There was also an airport find, and I overpaid for it because now I see it everywhere in different colors, but at the time I hadn't seen it before. So we had that K-truck and it crashed, and the barrier actually took chips of paint off that car, which is kind of unusual for the Hot Wheels cars on this track when they crash. But yeah, that was one there. All right, reset the cars. Epic Fast is in lane 2. We've got the Mitsubishi from Matchbox in lane 1. This is the second race. If the Epic Fast takes it, it's moving on to face the champ. Here we go. Three, 2, 1, race. The race was close. Part of the finish line barricade came down, but the Epic Fast took that, and as soon as I get this barricade straightened up, we will be able to get this lined up. All right. That should hold up for the next series of races, which is going to be the Blitz Speeder taking on the Epic Fast. And we are going to find out now if this Halloween edition, is this what it took? Did it take the spirit of Halloween to challenge the Blitz Speeder? And we will see, trick or treat, whether or not the Blitz Speeder can be beat. 10. All right, we're gonna go. The Epic Fast is going to be set up in lane 2. The Blitz Speeder, the fastest in the fleet champion for the last 11, 12 weeks, whatever, in lane 1. Blitz Speeder lane 1. Epic Fast in lane 2. This is for the fastest in fleet title, race number 1. Here we go. Three, 2, 1, race. Ooh, the Epic Fast hung with the Blitz Speeder right till the end, and the Blitz Speeder took it by maybe half a car length, it looked like, from my end, but that race was close. I had to check to keep an eye on the lights, but the Blitz Speeder still took that race, but very close indeed. So we are going to switch lanes. We are going to see if the Blitz Speeder is going to just continue its run, or if the Epic Fast can pull off, I wouldn't say a miracle, but it's going to be a challenge, because the Blitz Speeder, the races, the times that it's always lost that first race. So this is going to be tough, because Epic Fast is going to have to come back and win 2 in a row, and that's asking a lot against the Blitz Speeder. But we have switched lanes. The Blitz Speeder is in lane 2. The Epic Fast is in lane 1. This is race number 2. The Epic Fast needs to take this in order to force a third and decisive final race. So here we go. Three, 2, 1, race. Wow. The Blitz Speeder won that one going away. It rolls all the way back to the start line, and I am going to gather up the Epic Fast and the other cars, head back to the garage, and take a look at the results from today. So I'll be back in the garage in just a minute. So once again, the Blitz Speeder comes through. The Epic Fast gave it a challenge, and it's just I don't know what it is. I'm gonna be interested when I get that wind tunnel machine to just take a look and see how exactly the air is flowing around this car, what it may be, because we've had different challengers, and it just really hasn't made a difference to this point. The Blitz Speeder has had some close races. Now that was one of the closer races that the Blitz Speeder has had, because cars usually have a hard time even hanging with the Blitz Speeder that far down the track. But the Epic Fast, that first race, the Blitz Speeder only pulled it out by, it looked, again from my angle, to be about a half a car length. It was close, and that was as close as it got, because the second race, the Blitz Speeder was absolutely out and won it by a couple of car lengths, which is a little more typical of a Blitz Speeder race. So I don't know. I'm still on the hunt to find cars that can challenge and beat out the Blitz Speeder. And if we look back, there have been cars that have been close. So if you look at the on our Instagram account, you'll see the Slide Kick, and the Slide Kick is the first car to take a race from the Blitz Speeder. And after that, the Blitz Speeder was beating every car until where is it? Until this one, number 730, the Whipped Creamer 2. And the Whipped Creamer 2 also took the first race from the Blitz Speeder and then proceeded in the next two races to lose. But you can kind of see the aerodynamic profile on that car. And then another car that gave the Blitz Speeder a run, and this was just last week, and I didn't label this one correctly because it's not the eye candy. This is the Ravager ST, and this car was very fast, and it hung in there with the Blitz Speeder. Actually, no, it hung in for similar to the Epic Fast. It had a close race, and then it got blown out, and that was pretty much what happened. But this is a fast car, so just because a car is not as fast as the Blitz Speeder doesn't mean it's not fast. And there are several in here. We have the eye candy was the one with that the axle got bent, but it still made it down the track pretty quick. So I'm still convinced that there's a car in here somewhere that is faster than the Blitz Speeder. But until it gets picked, until it shows up on the track, and until it beats the Blitz Speeder 2 out of 3 times, what I think doesn't matter. Oh, and there's that Minecraft minecart, the one that completely surprised me with its speed, even though it's the least aerodynamic car in the pack. But there's a car in here. There's a car in here just waiting to be picked, waiting to be found, that is going to beat out the Blitz Speeder. If I were going to pick, there's a couple in here that I've seen scrolling through that I would definitely pick. There's some that I would stay away from, like this one, the Sting Rod 2. We've never had a car with these off-road tires, wheels do well, so I would never pick that car. But just because I wouldn't pick it doesn't. That might mean the car that's faster than the Blitz Speeder, I might have that same mentality of, oh, I wouldn't pick that car because something about it doesn't appeal to me. But that might be the car. That might be the whole thing right there. Maybe it's this one. Maybe it's Roger Dodger 2.0. Is that a car that I would pick? No, but who knows? That might be the car that's faster than the Blitz Speeder. I don't think so, but you never know, because odds are that we have 745 cars. 744 if you subtract the Blitz Speeder. Odds are that one of those cars is faster than the Blitz Speeder. Or we're just going to determine the Blitz Speeder is in fact the fastest car on the planet. This is the Slide Kick. This is the one that took one race from the Blitz Speeder. And if you notice, this is very similar to, so the Whipped Creamer 2 and the Slide Kick both took races from the Blitz Speeder. They ultimately lost, but if you look at the top of this car, and you see how it's smooth. There's no canopy really. It's just a smooth top surface, and then it's got those 2 little fins in the back. So you look at that, and then if we go back to the Whipped Creamer, and you take a look at that car, similar kind of thing. No canopy, just pretty much a smooth top surface. It's got this plastic, whatever this is, and there was a channel in between these 2 pieces, but very similar. So again, those cars in the end, they didn't beat the Blitz Speeder, but those are the only 2 cars that have even taken a race from the Blitz Speeder. So maybe there's something to that. If we look at the Blitz Speeder, it doesn't really have a can. Well, it does, but it's pretty smooth on the top surface, not like a traditional car that would have the windshield angled in there. So maybe there's something to that, because we know that the bottoms of these cars are flat. So that's there's nothing there. That in that regard, they're all the same. But then on the top, this car is it's a very smooth upper surface. So I don't know, maybe that's it. As we're starting to see the Blitz Speeder, I really can't wait until I get that wind tunnel, because I really do want to see if we can actually see differences in the way that the air moves over, under, and around these cars, because to reduce drag, then the car would be able to move faster. And perhaps there's something about the design of the Blitz Speeder that reduces drag to the point that it's able to maintain its status as the fastest car on the planet. Because beyond that, like I said earlier, I don't modify these cars. There's no graphite. I don't change the wheels, nothing. So how it comes out of the pack is how it comes out of the pack, which suggests that there's nothing particularly special about the components that are building the Blitz Speeder. It's something else. It's got to be, I'm leaning towards the aerodynamics, and that it's just the drag is reduced, and it's able to move down the track faster without the air having as much of an impact on it as some of the other cars. So the Blitz Speeder remains our champion for yet another week. I actually need to go back. It's probably about 13 weeks at this point, and that is at least double what the Draftnator, the previous fastest in fleet, one of the previous fastest in fleet car that had the longest run as champion before the Blitz Speeder. So Blitz Speeder is still on top of the heap, and what I should do is I might try and buy another Blitz Speeder just to see because if they're both the same build and everything, they should be pretty evenly matched. If this Blitz Speeder beats out another Blitz Speeder by a wide margin, then maybe there's some physical difference that makes this car so fast. I don't know. So I'm going to look into that and see if I can find one. Because typically these cars aren't in great demand. These fantasy cars like this, collectors don't seem to really bother too much with these. So I should be able to pick one up. So maybe that's what I'll do. I'm going to go, after I close out here, I'm going to go online, see if I can find some other Blitz Speeders. If they're not too much, then maybe that's something that we will be able to do if I can get my order in fast enough, and depending on the shipping, whatever. We'll be able to find out. Is this Blitz Speeder special, or are all Blitz Speeders special? I don't know. I'm also going to suggest that, again, that the channel is Mealtime Raceway on TikTok, where he's got that incredible 6-lane track that it loops around this room. It's really amazing, and it's all 6 lanes. I've seen some other channels where they have pretty big tracks, but they're just those wide tracks so the cars can just wander in and do whatever they're going to do and spin around backwards. No, this guy has a 6-lane track that just zips back and forth all around this room. It's incredible. But I'm going to suggest to him, I'm going to ask him, because he's got thousands, probably 10,000 cars or so. He won't even say. But I'm going to ask him if he has a Blitz Speeder, and I'd like to see how it performs on the track. So that's my homework. I'm going to go out. I'm going to try and find some more Blitz Speeders to bring in so we can actually conduct that experiment and see what happens. Appreciate everyone watching. Most people I've noticed are watching after the fact on YouTube, and you can do that as well. You can go to our YouTube channel, just click the live tab All the episodes are listed. I have time codes in there so you can jump to whichever part of the episode you want to see. If you just want to see the reviews, if you just want to see the races, whatever, if you want to watch the whole thing, it's all there. And yeah, just having fun racing Hot Wheels cars. More information about the science program, all about aerodynamics, is available. Just send me a message or go to our website, aaerodynamics.com, and you can learn everything you need to learn about it there. So until next week, okay, Roughshod says he's gonna try and find another contender. Yeah, that's what I encourage everybody to do. Just go to AtTheTrack.live. It's since the search function is totally broken. Just take the week, take some time, scroll through. If there's a car you know you're looking for, send me a message. I'll check and see if I have it. And if I do, then I will pull it, we'll race it, and see if you can take the title from the Blitz Speeder. Roughshod was one step away. He beat out all the cars we pulled out today. One step away. So who knows? Next week might be the week. But until then, I am Coach James for At The Track Live and all about aerodynamics. Until next time, see you at the races.